What's going on, y'all? We back at it on the interviews. I got another special guest, man. you know, um, what's going on?
Yo, what's the deal? What's popping with you? What's cracking?
Yeah, man, nothing, man. Ready to bless these people, man, with some nice little information. you know, uh,
Most definitely.
when I first, because I wanted to sit over there and get on these interviews. The crazy thing about it is you was actually one of the first ones that popped in my head. I was gonna reach out, and then you already had reached out. I'm like, oh yeah, it was meant to be.
Oh yeah. Most definitely, man. That's the universe that works for the greater good, you feel me?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So you mind telling the people what's your name?
Man, I'm Bobby A. Jones from Eastside Imperial Housing Project, known as the PJ Wash Crips from out of Watts, California.
Right. So you born and raised.
Born and raised right there, y'all.
Got you. Okay. So I got followers that that's from the set and that's not from the set, and a lot of them be intrigued and kind of want to know. So do you
From what set? When you say set, is you talking about like a participant in the game world versus a civilian? Like
Yes,
non-affiliate type shit?
correct.
Oh yeah, mandate. All right, I got you. Just needed that clarity right there.
Oh yeah. So you know so what is it like? So what was it like growing up where you was at?
Shit, as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
being in ignorance is bliss. You believe that living in government housing projects is like one of the most entertaining and exciting things that a person can you know, come up through and under and whatnot. But the older that you get, reality starts to set in and say, hey, some of the things that transpire and happen in this environment, it's not regular. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Me growing up, I seen my first murder at the age of 5 years old. And in a regular functioning society, that shit is traumatizing. You know what I mean? It's traumatic as a motherfucker, and it's something that doesn't occur on a day-to-day basis. But when you come into these poverty-stricken areas, these are things that we normalize. It becomes um, normal behavior for us. You feel me? We embrace it as being normal, when in actuality, reality, this shit ain't normal. So the older that I got, I began to analyze and look at my environment and say, hold on, man, this shit ain't right. You know what I mean? The shit that we do, the way that we treat each other, the things that we engage in, all this shit is backwards. For me, coming up in age and getting to a point where I seen that shit was off, I started asking myself, how can I be a service to my brothers and sisters in the community? Coming up, it was cool. We did like a lot of fun shit, you know what I mean? Like breaking in cars, breaking in houses, gang banging, doing what we gotta do to survive and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Playing the typical shit that we play in the ghetto, like ding dong bitch, I ain't go get it, hide and seek, water fight, going over some it's a city outside of Watts called Linwood, going to Linwood to steal bikes, going to Lakewood to steal and vandalize shit and just, explore and do what we thought was normal kid activity and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I believe so. You did you grow up in a two-parent household or one-parent household?
Neither. I grew up in a household that consisted of my maternal aunt,
Mm-hmm.
her husband, and her three sons. So I ain't have neither parents growing up. My father was grown. He was gang banging, and on top of that, he had that monkey on his back. He was a heroin addict. My mother was never there. You know what I'm saying? She substance dependency as well. She was battling with cocaine, crack addiction, and all that type of shit. So I grew up kind of like in foster care, but not necessarily foster care. Technically, yeah. Physically, no, because it was with family. But I grew up awarded, of course, award of the state.
Mm. Okay. So about what age did you start to become a participant of the lifestyle?
It ain't really no. It's not really That's for an individual like myself is born in, not sworn in.
Uh-huh.
That's like asking me when did I become a Christian.
Right.
In the
Okay.
environment that I grew up in, it was some shit that we inherited. We grew up gang banging. All we knew was Eastside PJ watch Crip. So you can't necessarily narrow down and say, oh, at this time I joined the set, or I became a participant, or I made the decision to represent the hood, because the hood for us growing up in the projects is something bigger than the hood. When your cousins, your uncles, your daddy, and all your kinfolks is a part of this, it's something that you inherit. Like Christianity, this is something that I inherited. This isn't something I made a conscious decision and said, you know what, I'm gonna get put on the set, or I'm gonna represent this, or I'm gonna align myself with these individuals. It's some shit that we're born in when you coming in a project. You're growing up in a project.
Okay. So and growing up the way that you did, how do you feel that, especially today, how do you feel like that impacts your day-to-day thinking about how you approach situations or how you go about your daily living?
It was one point in time in my life to where I grew up, how I grew up, had a major effect on my day-to-day living and my day-to-day thinking and whatnot. But as I told you, when I came to a point of consciousness and said, hold on, the shit that transpires in our environment, it's irregular. This isn't the type of shit that's supposed to transpire, go on and happen in a regular functioning society. So being that I've seen that it was so much dysfunction, unresolved psychological issues and all this type of shit, I said I have to step out of this way of living and existence and start to introspect so that I can change the way that I think, so that I can be a more productive member of society and be more effective in doing what it is that I feel that my calling is. You feel what I'm saying? So as of lately, it hasn't really been having that much of effect on my thinking and some of the things that I do. But one thing that we have to talk about in regards to these streets, especially with these youth that's coming up, is the lingering side effects of being a full-fledged active gang member. You feel what I'm saying? The mental health disorder, suffering from PTSD, the insomnia, the inability to trust, the inability to connect, and always feeling like today can potentially be the day that I get my motherfucking brains blown out, or today can be the day that all the shit that I did in these motherfucking streets can come back and give me my karma. You feel what I'm saying? It's always something that lingers when we live in that gang banging life, when we out there full fledged and we 10 toes down in this shit. You feel what I'm saying?
So do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, by the life, the kind of the way that you grew up, do you feel that kind of hinders in you being able to create meaningful relationships?
Yeah, to a degree, you feel what I'm saying? Because when you grow up in a household to where it's not your biological parent, and we come from a culture to where we have generational mental health issues, they go undiagnosed and whatnot, and that affects the way that we connect with one another. That affects the way that we communicate with one another. That affects the way that we assist one another. You feel what I'm saying? So when you don't have a full-fledged support system, or you don't have people speaking positivity, productivity, and life into you, that shit can affect you in a negative way. You feel what I'm saying? And even the imbalance of not having your mother or your father there, that's an imbalance. Nobody's going to love a child the way that child's biological mother and father is supposed to love that child. Nobody's going to nurture that child the way that child's biological mother is supposed to nurture that child. You feel what I'm saying? So coming up in a household and situations and environments that I came up in, you feel what I'm saying, I was already at a disadvantage. You feel what I'm saying?
That's real spill. So, people always, when they think about, participants of the lifestyle, they always think of it just in a negative fashion. So is there anything that you may have experienced that you could say that has positively influenced you by, living a lifestyle that you felt that you pretty much grew up in, that you were just, it wasn't chose, it chose you?
Most definitely. I mean, for those of us who are conscious and optimistic, there's a few things that you can pull out of the game lifestyle and apply it to real life in a regular function society, like leadership skills. You know what I mean? Coming up in the ranks or whatnot, you feel what I'm saying? You have to have some type of leadership quality about yourself in order to advance in the ranks of the gang life. How to manage people, you feel what I'm saying? How to manage people, time management, product inventory for those of us who have partook in the distribution of narcotics and whatnot, you feel me? And you know, aside from that, periodically you get some of those OGs who have not even just OGs, because I don't want to put a certain I don't want to put a certain age group on it, because sometimes you can get a homie that love you and see what you lacking at, and he tell you like, hey, cuz, I don't think you should do this, my nigga, because if you do this, cuz, this can be resolved. Or, hey, my nigga, I don't think this situation is the best situation for you. Periodically, we get those type of individuals that come across our path that we intersect with in the gang life that motivates you and inspire you to want to do something outside of the hood. You feel what I'm saying? So we can't necessarily say that gangbang culture and gangbanging is completely negative and it's just all the way fucked up. No, it's not all the way fucked up, and it's not just something that's totally derogative. It's just now we lack a purpose, because when certain people interfere and meddle in our growth, in our organization, us organizing and whatnot, it always hinders us to a degree when we start to live to the expectations or you know, when we start living off track, because you know certain motherfuckers meddle in our affairs and whatnot. And by certain motherfuckers, I do mean, you know, the government and law enforcement that plays us against one another. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I definitely yeah, you know, yeah, you know, as we go along, I definitely gonna be addressing that. But
Most definitely.
So growing up, who was your biggest influence?
My biggest influence, damn, man, I really can't necessarily just pinpoint one individual and say, oh, this is my biggest influence, because I was influenced by you know, just the environment in its whole. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, this dude man doing a plan. I'm like, damn, man, this nigga got bitches, cuz I wanna, you know what I mean, mac on bitches like cuz. This nigga probably had the dope sack and put niggas down with the dope sack. And I'm like, damn, cuz I wanna, you know, learn how to navigate the game and get to the status of you know, big dog status as cuz. And this nigga may have been a just a fly ass nigga that, you know what I mean, that just kept himself fly, presentable and all that. And this nigga may have been a pimp. Like, you pick up bits and pieces from, you know, everybody. You feel what I'm saying? Because being that we kids, we just looking for people that we can mold ourselves or you know, fashion ourselves after that we feel is successful or have relevance. You feel what I'm
saying? Okay. So from where you from, who opposes you, as far as, you know, people will call it, they will say it, the enemy? Who opposes you?
Shit. I'm at a point in time in my life where nobody really opposes me, but as far as like gang oppositions, shit. My neighborhood is, you know, I guess you can say at odds with Gray Street Crips, Carver Park Compton Crips, Mono Park Compton Crips, 10 Line Gangster Crips, shit. That's all that I can legitimately think about just off the top of my head. You feel me?
Okay. So,
in the LAPD, in the Los Angeles County Sheriff, as well as the government, we got to throw them motherfuckers in there too, because this shit is just bigger than just gangbanger. But yeah, I'm with you.
So, what does it mean to you to be a Crip?
What does it mean for me to be a Crip? Shit. The same shit that it means for a motherfucking United States Army to be a soldier. You feel what I'm saying? This is a small portion of my identity and what I came up under and as. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Same thing as it is for a person who grew up as a Christian or under the Islamic faith. Like, you feel me? It's a small part of my identity, but it's a major thing in my culture. You feel what I'm saying? It's part of my culture.
Okay. So if somebody, you know, say for instance, if you was having a conversation, you know, with somebody that may be dear to you and they ask, who are you? What would you say?
Me, I'm a student of life. I'm a philosopher. I'm a servant of the Most High in the universe. That's who I am.
you know, when people, from the outside looking in, they just think that, pretty much, people that's participants in the lifestyle, they might not have no charisma, they might not have no interest outside of, what I'm saying, of being a participant. So what are things that has nothing to do with, being a participant of the lifestyle that may interest you?
What are things that outside of gay culture that may interest me?
Yeah, like, you got like maybe a hobby, some things that you're interested, you may be doing some activist work, or what things that, kind of, catches your eye or that you apply yourself to.
Any place that any place or any opportunity or situation that I have the chance to speak for the people, motivate the people, offer healing services and techniques for the people, I'm there. You feel what I'm saying? Whether it's, the community as a whole or individuals from the communities that we come from, anytime that I'm able to be of a service to our people, I'm there. You feel what I'm saying? My hobby has been able to assist my people. And another one of my hobbies is just being a student of life and learning as much as I possibly can so that I can go out and be effective with doing what it is that I do. You know what I mean? Motivating and mentoring the youth and inspiring our brothers and sisters who may be in dark places and spaces and that need some motivation, need some inspiration or some kind words of encouragement and whatnot. You feel me? Some people call it activism, some people call it advocacy, call it whatever you must. You feel what I'm saying? But me, I'm a servant of the Most High. Whatever I can do to brighten the day, the hour, the second of another person, that's what I'm here to do. You feel me?
So, say for instance, a little homie came to you, man, and said he wanted to be from the set. What kind of words would you give to him? Seeing that
you got to get cut the pros and cons of this shit. My one of my first questions that I posed to a young nigga that want to get put on the set, and all my little homies are attest to this, like the ones that's not born in that comes and get initiated and courted on. Can you see yourself laid out with your motherfucking brains blew out? Can you see yourself spending extended periods of time in a bathroom? Can you see yourself do life? Is you ready to do life? Is you ready to give your life up? Is you ready to die right now today? Well, if you're not, then you shouldn't participate or involve yourself in this shit, because that's the reality of what gangbanging produces. You feel what I'm saying? It's either going to be the prison yard or the graveyard. You got to give them the pros and cons. Like, you feel me? I understand that sometimes, we've been in situations where we didn't have the opportunity to grow up in households where there was love, support, understanding, nourishment, and all that. But coming to the set, you're not going to find that, because 80% of us is dealing with some type of mental health disorder, some type of internal strife and turmoil and shit. So you're not going to come to the set and get the love that you're looking for. Is it going to be camaraderie? Yeah, it's camaraderie and fellowship in hood, but it's not going to be, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be productive. It's not going to be fulfilling. It's not going to be something that's going to catapult you to the top. It's not going to be something that's going to speak to and bring out the best in you. You feel what I'm saying?
That's real spill right there. That's real spill right there.
On Crip, and then you got to also factor in and understand the dynamics that these youngsters is facing in the time that they coming up to, where gangbanging culture is being over glamorized, it's being commercialized. So they equate and they associate success to niggas like NBA Youngboy, Birdman, Lil Wayne. These niggas ain't been in the trenches that we have been in. These niggas haven't made the sacrifices that we have made. These niggas are successful entrepreneurs that had an opportunity to do something better with them lives and said, you know what? Today I want to be a blood. No, my nigga, don't work like that. Then you got to think about the effect that they have on these kids that love your music and love the images that these Jews and these Caucasians give to you. The big chains, the eye candy, the motherfucking Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the Rolexes, the designer clothes, and all this shit that's superficial that really don't mean shit in actuality and reality. You feel what I'm saying? That shit propels and makes these kids wanna gangbang. Oh, I'm gonna be blood. Oh shit, whoopie whoop cracking. I'm gonna be a Crip. Like, no, my nigga, don't work like that, because there's dynamics associated with this lifestyle that these niggas isn't talking about. You know what I mean? Have you ever went outside and seen your motherfucking partner laid out with his motherfucking brains hanging out, homie? That's traumatizing. Have you ever been in a motherfucking car with these things and you want to go inflict pain on people that look just like you, that's under the same struggle and going through the same shit you going through, the same conditions of living, but you got these motherfucking guns in this car, and that's already can be a 20-year sentence. Just us being in a car with these motherfucking guns going over. If we get stopped, nigga, we going down. Nigga, these motherfuckers ain't legal. So if we get stopped on our way before we even go put it anywhere, if we get stopped, we going to the penitentiary. This is a penitentiary sentence. Not alone, once a motherfucker get over it and the motherfucker may do some some activities, may engage in some shit. Nigga, it's a possibility on your way back that you get caught. Nigga, that's red-handed. These life sentences and shit that we riding around with, they don't speak about the actuality of this lifestyle that we live. You feel what I'm saying? They glamorize the good and they ignore the bad, and these youngsters aren't conscious to this, and then they start gangbanging and they find themselves in a unfortunate situation. You feel me? That's misleading as fuck, homie.
That's real spill. That's real spill right there. So that does is lead into my next question. What do you think of the state of Crippin today?
The state of Crippin, man, shit. That's a major thing. And I can't necessarily say this nor that. But what I will say is that us as a whole, we need to improve how we treat each other, how we communicate with each other, how we relate to each other, how we protect each other, how we heal each other, and how we assist one another. You feel what I'm saying? Like Crip, just Crip, whatever acronym you want to associate with it, it can be more done in regards to community work, in regards to healing the community and positively influencing these kids that's coming up under us, that's looking at this lifestyle and thinking this shit is the coolest shit since Cool Whip or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? There's work that needs to be done. We need to set up lines of communication between every set. And when certain shit transpire, nigga, we need to start getting on these phones, and we need to start meeting in person and start offering mediation services and shit. We need conflict resolution. We need to give these youngsters and homies, you know, alternatives other than picking up these guns and going to murder one another. That shit is not cool, homie. It's not cool. It's not acceptable. And this is certain things that we need to correct. Because if we get on the same accord, homie, Crip can potentially be something that's on the level of Black Panthers. If we can get rid of the vendettas and, you know, the emotions and all that, and start focusing on a more positive goal. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need to be more positive with our Crippin'. We need to take Crippin' to a whole nother level. You understand what I'm saying? We on some outdated Crippin' shit, and that doesn't work. It's ineffective. This is a whole different time. Then you got to understand the individuals who created Crippin', they was 17, 18, 19-year-olds with an underdeveloped brain. You understand what I'm saying? The human brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So when I was a child, I thought as a child. So if these individuals, 17, 18, 19 years old, their way of thinking was that of a child. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to elevate and become more political, man. When these police start doing some fucked up shit to whether it's Crip, Blood, GD, Vice Lord, or whatnot, homie, we have to have some type of response team that responds to this shit. When these little babies is catching straight bullets and getting shot and getting killed, no, nigga, hold up. We're not accepting that, cuz we can't accept our women and our children being hurt because of our ignorance and foolishness. You understand what I'm saying? We got to take the initiative, cuz, to be more positive, productive, and protectors of our communities, our women and our children. So that's what I feel about Crip.
Okay. Right. So, you know, like I said, with everything, there's always a positive and negative. And so have you ever been behind them bars?
Hell yeah, I've been behind them bars.
You mind speaking a little bit about your experience? If you can, if you had liberty to.
Shit, my experience behind them bars, man, shit.
Where did you spend time at?
Shit, man, I done did time in Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall. I'd have been in Century Juvenile Hall. I'd have been in Fillmore Juvenile Hall on a local level. I was committed to the California Youth Authority for 5 years, 8 months. My first institution that I went to was, you know, as you know, if you've been to YA, Reception, Southern Reception Center, SRCC.
Mm-hmm.
From SRCC, I went to Fred C. Nellis. From Fred C. Nellis, I went to Preston up there in Ione, California. From Preston, I went to N.A. Tradergian. They call it Chad. I went to Chad. And from Chad, I went to YTS.
Okay. So, you know, for some reason, you know, a lot of motherfuckers want to think that it's cool to be behind the bars, and especially motherfuckers that ain't never sit
cool.
over there.
It's not cool, especially coming from Southern California.
Right.
Where we dealing with these racist ass Sudaneos, these Hispanic, you know, this Hispanic gang that don't like brothers, they don't like niggas. You feel what I'm saying? And they're very vocal in sharing that we don't like what they call mayates. We don't like mayates, dog. Like, you feel me? They vocal in that. Like, niggas think it's cool to be in jail and incarcerated and all that shit until you in a dorm and it's 100 Mexicans and probably like 30 blacks. And they feel like they want to attack. Today is the day that they're going to kick it off on blacks. Why? No apparent reason. They just flexing their muscle. They the majority and they want to make a statement. So you got 100 Mexicans, you got 30 blacks. 10 to 15 of those blacks ain't going to participate. They going to run. They going to get on. They going to flee the scene, cuz. So now you left with 15 niggas that's fighting 100 Mexicans. And then you got to understand, like, being that their culture is more together, they practice unity. Most of the sheriffs and most of the motherfucking CEOs, they bringing in street shot knives. They bringing out knives that come from the street and they arming their people. And all we got is these bullshit ass razors, and you probably slip up every now and then periodically and get a nice piece of metal to where you can fashion and sharpen it to a cool little kisu. But at the end of the day, they better armed than us. They got stronger numbers. They're more militant. They're more structured. They're more organized, and they come in and kill. See, these youngsters don't understand that because these punk ass rappers and these community leaders and these niggas that got a position of authority and influence, they don't teach them this, cuz. You in this motherfucking dorm, or you on this motherfucking prison yard, or this California Youth Authority yard fighting for your motherfucking life. And then what they don't understand, because motherfuckers don't educate them and teach them, is when the goon squad come, when you know, when the S&E security and escort come, and they try to, you know, squash this shit, you know what I mean? The first people that they target is the blacks. They spray up first. So now you already at a disadvantage because most of these Hispanics got knives, right? You at a disadvantage because they got more numbers than us. Now you at a super disadvantage because you fight handicapped. You can't see. You trying to breathe, but that shit is all in your lungs, taking your breath away from you. And it's a potential that you motherfucking die on this prison yard, homie, or in this motherfucking county jail pod or cell or whatnot. You understand what I'm saying?
So that leads into my next question. You know, as far as, you know what I mean, being a participant, you know, what kind of mindset do you need to have in order to sit over there and survive? You know, pretty much that's how
in order to survive this shit, with a good name, solid reputation, like those who you know, preceded me and shit, you got to have a mindset of a warrior, You got to be resilient. You can't be no Buffy. You can't be no pushover. You can't be a motherfucking pretender. Like, you got to have the mind of a warrior, because it's war. When you live in this lifestyle, homie, it's war. This shit can break you. This lifestyle can really break you, homie. This shit can affect you in so many ways mentally, to where you battling all these mental disorders and all this type of shit, homie. You either gonna succumb to it, or you gonna overcome this shit and you're gonna thrive and you're gonna prosper. You feel me? But this lifestyle is not for the weak. And a lot of these youngsters don't understand this because we don't really take the time out to get to know this young cat. This young cat may be an amazing football player, or he may be a thinker. And instead of us getting him and showing him how to hone his talent, we allow Cuz to join the staff. No. So you wonder why Cuz crumble and he break when these motherfuckers apply pressure, because Cuz wasn't meant and he wasn't designed for this shit. So is it our fault, or is it Cuz' fault that he did some shit that we call punk in the game, or he put a black eye in the game? Cuz was never supposed to be a member in the first place, Cuz. And if we big homies and we leaders of the community and we got influence in the community, we got to start building these connections with these youngsters where, man, you know how to rap. All right, shit, let me holler at the homie with you. Or let me reach out to Cuz over here and get you in the studio. Or you want to be an engineer. So let me see if I can get the resources to put you in the right spot so where you can focus on being an engineer versus a motherfucking Crip. Because you'll be a more effective tool by being successful and creating other outlets for the generations coming behind you. That you join in a set, you do some more shit, now you ostracize from the community. You kicked out the set. Now you're wandering around as a nomad trying to figure out what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, and now you're dealing with issues with self-esteem issues because you may feel like you this or you that because everybody's calling you this and calling you that. But when in reality, cuz was never supposed to see from the set.
Yeah, that shit.
But even the little homies that we do allow to join the set, cuz we got to start taking more positive steps to ensure that little cuz don't get his brains blown out. Or little cuz don't get a 100-year sentence. So that means me taking the initiative to reach out to these niggas across the track and say, hey, homie, can we establish some line of communication so when situations arise, homie, we can get on these phones and we can meet in person. We can, start mediating this shit to where my little homies ain't picking up AKs, Dracos, and all this shit and ready to go assault your homies and vice versa. Like, how do we work through this shit? How do we make progress and improvements to where the little homies ain't dealing with the shit that we was dealing with, cuz? How can we take Crip and turn Crip into a fraternity to where we're assisting the young homies with going to college? We're assisting the young homies with getting in these programs to where you're a good thinker. You're a progressive thinker. You should be a scientist. Now we got him in an environment to where he really can go be a scientist. Something outside of just being a fucking artist and a motherfucking athlete. You understand what I'm saying?
Real spill. And at the beginning of this interview, this kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about next. At the beginning of the interview, we kind of lightly touched on it, but I know you have brought to my attention to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Is that your movie? Like, you got anything to do with that movie, or?
Yeah, that's my movie. I produced on that movie, and I'm the subject of it. That movie is loosely based off my life.
Okay. And Imperial Dreams, right?
Imperial Dreams, shot at Imperial Court Housing Project. I'm a day one native from that place.
Okay. Because, man, I believe I've seen that movie before I watched it again, because I wanted to watch that movie before we did this. And I believe when I first watched it, you just watch it, you just watch it for entertainment. But, this time I really was engaged, man. And that shit really just was like fucking me up, man. Like, because I related so much, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here, I'm laying down, I'm sitting up. Because, I took some notes on that shit too. You know what I mean? I wanted to sit over there and speak with you about some things. But man, that shit was just like, damn, you feel me? Like, that shit was really just fucking me up. I don't think I've ever watched a movie that really fucked me up like that. You know what I mean? Because that was some real spill. So that was an excellent movie. And it's on Netflix, and I recommend, if anybody ain't watched it, man, to watch that movie, man. But so regarding that, so you said that kind of you said that movie was kind of inspired by you, kind of on your lifestyle.
Yes, indeed, my life, not my lifestyle, my life. Like, that's me right there.
Yeah.
I met the producer. I met the director and the writer, Malik Bithal, in 2008 when I was at a pivotal, point in my life where I was about to bring a life into this world. I'm like, cuz I can't make the same mistakes that my parents made, so I got to do something different. Whether it's me going to this trade school or, getting enrolled in college just to better, my chances of success and all this type of shit. And I just so happened to bump into him through a mutual friend and all this type of shit, man. We befriending one another. Start telling me, certain shit about my life. I grew up and all that shit, and cuz was kind of like amazed by it. And he's like, man, I'd love to make a movie about your life, with your permission. I'm like, cuz, let's do it. If it's going to help people and it's going to put information out there about what's really going on out here in society, nigga, let's do that shit. And we did, you feel me? The power of that script, just the script alone, before we actually shot the movie, man, I was facing 21 years for a pistol case, man. The director, Malik Bithal, gave the script to the DA and the judge. And on my next court date, man, they read that shit. They was moved by that shit, and they seen me as a positive asset to the community, homie. They went from 21 years. They had gang enhancement on me, a 1-year prison enhancement, and they was using a juvenile strike to double that time up, and it came to 21 years. So when they read that script, they seen how profound that script was, And then they looked at me as an asset, like this is an individual that we need out in the community, you know, talking to the youth and trying to, you know, inspire the people in that type of community, man. And they said, would you take a deal for 2 years, a plea deal for 2 years with halftime? I said, hell yeah. I took a plea deal for 2 years halftime, went to old folks and did my time, was back on the scene, man.
That's a blessing, man. That's a blessing for
sure.
sure.
It's a super blessing, man, because I thought it was a wrap for me. They gave my daddy life off a pistol case, like straight pistol case. He beat the other case that was associated, that they was trying to associate with the pistol. He beat that case, but they like, all right, we gonna give you life for this pistol. You know what I mean? You know, those are games that they play, man. When they get you by the balls, they got you by the balls, like.
Yeah, because, you know, one of the points, man, I seen, man, that I was relating to was, man, it's like he was like torn in between the two, man. Like, all right, man, I want to be I got a kid. I want to be straight so I can be free to be able to provide for my kid. But, you know, looking at, you know what I'm saying, the things that I had to overcome and the record that I may have, I can't get no good ass paying job. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Do I sit over there and participate in illegal activities to be able to provide and risk my freedom and not be able to see my kid? Or do I sit over there and just thug it out, man, and just sit over there and do the right thing, man, and, you know, maybe getting paid scraps though, but, you know, at least I'm free. So, you know, I looked at that myself.
The thing is perseverance and endurance, slow and steady win the race. You feel what I'm saying? The race isn't won by the swift, but he who is able to endure to the end. So sometimes we got to endure these hardships and, you know, been in an uncomfortable situation in order for us to maximize, build our potential to be better equipped to dealing with situations to where when that opportunity meets itself, when that opportunity presents itself, we can seize that motherfucker because look at all the struggling that I just did. All the struggling to build character. It made me more resilient. So now I'm physically and mentally capable and able to deal with this shit. And then you got to be optimistic because some people's like, damn, man, I can't do this. And, you know, cuz I can't do that. My back against the wall. The only option that I got is this. No, that's not the only option that you got on this block, on this street, in this time frame. It may seem like the only option, but if you can endure and if you can stay solid to what your mission is and what you about, shit, 3 streets up the way is your opportunity. The opportunity is ahead of us. You feel what I'm saying? We can't get caught in the right here, right now. Even though sometimes everybody feel like, well, all I ever had was the present. And we're not taught, you know, living in the life, being participants and shit. We're not really taught to plan for the future. So a lot of motherfuckers get discouraged. A lot of people get sidetracked and all that because we're not taught to create 100 years plans, 50-year plans, 10-year plans and all that. That's not a big factor in our culture because we live in day to day. But going back to what you said, you know, it's endurance, cuz it's being able to persevere and not get distracted by this, that, another, cuz, and always staying optimistic and forward thinking, cuz. That's how you navigate yourself through those type of situations, because we all go through that shit. Whether it's I gotta provide for my kids, I need a job, or this just happened to my people and I want to go retaliate for my people because pride is telling me this, and my love for what they just did to my kin folks, my loved one is telling me this, and that makes me want to go out and purge and make another family feel the way that me and my family feel. You feel what I'm saying? We can't succumb to those vices and whatnot, cuz. We got to endure, cuz, because that's the only way that we can get by. And then once you endure so long, you build so much character to it, your perception about how we engage and address situations, that shit is altered. That shit begin to change, and you find yourself a more humble, forward-thinking individual. You feel me?
You know, another point that I seen, man, was that man had when he was out there, that child support, man. You know, man, I felt that shit, right? Because you know what I mean? Like, my baby mama, man, she had fucked around, man. She did some shit, man, lost her job. She ain't even tell me, man. She went down to that office, man, got on that aid, man. And all of a sudden, man, I got them peoples after me, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like, man, motherfuckers done freeze my account, man. And all kinds of, didn't even give me an opportunity, you feel me, to sit over there, you know what I mean? To even pay for it, you know what I'm saying? They was on me like, bam. I'm like, damn, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? They was putting a hold on shit. They was, you know what I'm saying? They probably was about a week
away.
Yeah, for the license. Yeah, man. I was like, fuck, I feel that.
That's another part. That's another system that they create to hinder us. And then, you see, Michael Jordan can be the best, and I got this from Brother Malik Bithal, but Michael Jordan can be the best basketball player in the world. But Cuz can't go up against 5 people by himself. Michael Jordan versus 5 people, it's not going to work. You can be the best at what it is, but it's strength in numbers. You feel what I'm saying? Those numbers can overpower us. So when they create these type of systems and put these type of systems in place, we supposed to have an organization, an agency to counter that system that they just put in place to hinder it. But being that we don't speak up and we don't protest and we don't create systems to combat the shit that they do to us in a negative fashion, we lose. You feel what I'm saying? I went through that shit coming home from prison. I'm coming home from prison, got child support. One able to pay the child support because I was in prison, and these motherfuckers took my license away. But yet I gotta go get a job in order to pay the child support and be a provider to my family. So shit, I'm not catching a bus. I'm affiliated with a gang, a known gang. It's an opportunity motherfuckers catch me out here lacking to blow my motherfucking brains out in the climate. Around that time, it was heated. It was war time. So I get a car and I'm driving to work. As I'm driving to work, I'm getting pulled over by the police, and I'm getting these driving without a license ticket, and then driving with a suspended license ticket. And all I'm trying to do is get from home to work. You understand what I'm saying? And then they suspend your license. They like you say, man, they start taking money out your bank account. They start freezing accounts and all this type of shit. And if you're going to work and you're doing 8 to 12 hours, in between 8 to 12 hours, and you coming home and your check is $100, shit, I'm spending that on gas. I'm spending that on bus fare, train fare. What is the motivation to keep on working? What is the motivation to keep on pushing? It's not like they're taking your check and giving it directly to your child and your children mother. The county is taking that shit. So now my kid isn't being serviced. So now my kid isn't seeing the fruits of my motherfucking labor, and that shit is not flying. It's not cool.
You know, another point, that, a lot of people, well, now I wouldn't say a lot, that some people may be oblivious to, man, is these dirty cops, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Man, you know what I mean? Like that, there was that part, man, where they was trying to threaten them, man, to sit over there and drop them off in the enemy hood, man. And they're like, yeah, man, let him out, man. Let him out, man. Like, motherfuckers don't think that shit real, but that shit real, man.
Man, that's the actuality of our reality. A lot of people that's not participants and don't that's not brought up in this culture, they don't want to accept that these motherfucking these cops are crooked, because it makes them have to question the security of America. As these are the enforcers and a person that's supposed to protect and serve, if they dirty, they wicked and corrupted, then who the fuck can you run to and who can you trust if you're not from the hood? If you're from middle class and above America, to where the police is your heroes and all that type of shit. When your heroes become villains, then who the fuck do you believe in? Who can you trust? That shit can be a big mind fuck and a major, setback for a lot of people who believe in this American justice system. To know that it's flawed and it's fucked up and it's not really just, that'll fuck a lot of these people up that's not part of the culture. So that's why they deny this shit. But you know what I mean? Shit. Police, you know what I mean? These motherfuckers, they put us against each other. You know what I mean? It was an officer by the name of Garcia, Los Angeles Police Department. Big tall motherfucker, man. Motherfucker come to our projects and like, what that gray shoe watch Crip like? What that gray shoe like, fool? I'm like, shit, them our brothers. We love them dudes. And that fuck Cuz up. Because he was expecting us or me or someone to say, oh, fuck them niggas. No, we not giving you that, homie. Because right now what you're doing this Willie Lynch shit. This, that divide and conquer shit. You understand what I'm saying? These motherfuckers even go as far as, oh yeah, we was just over in the Jordan Downs, man. We just did a shakedown on those guys. Those guys are hanging out deep as hell over there. They don't have any guns on them. Like, don't give a fuck, nigga. Because the same shit, the same poison that you guys try to take into the Jordan Downs, which is the headquarters and the home of the Gray Street, is the same shit that y'all try to put over here, and vice versa. Y'all playing us against each other so y'all can get this hazard pay, so that y'all can keep us disenfranchised and separated and disunified, so that y'all can have y'all way with it. So nah, cuz niggas ain't tolerating that shit no more. That's out.
Speaking of that, man, I was viewing, I don't know if you had liberty to maybe speak on it. I don't know if it's ongoing though, but man, I had seen, man, on one of your lives, man, that you had dealing with some of that shit. I think you was driving or something, man, and I'm not too familiar. I don't know if you remember though, but it was you was on Facebook
They
Live.
took $1,000 from me.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They took $1,000 from me. And then the motherfucker, he ain't let me sign the ticket. He made it seem like I refused to sign the ticket. And the way that he wrote his name, the shit you couldn't make out who the fuck, you know what I mean? You couldn't make out his badge number, and you couldn't make out his motherfucking name, man. But you know what I mean? Yeah, man, these motherfuckers is crooked, homie. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers come into our community. They set up these community-based organizations or whatnot, homie. And in Watts and LA, I can't speak for nowhere else, but I can speak from where I come from experience, from my personal knowledge and shit. These motherfuckers employ certain people in the community that that push their agenda. So if LA has to have a certain level of gang-related shootings and homicides per year in order to qualify for federal grant money, these motherfuckers is getting people in the community to, you know, let certain niggas on the payroll know, hey, you know, we gotta get cracking, homie. You feel what I'm saying? Because we about to lose this money. And if this motherfucker is a 2-time felon, never had a good job in his life, but now he's able to put a down payment on a house, have himself a nice car, and take care of his kids. When they start talking like this, the funding is gonna be gone if niggas don't get cracking. And we believe these dudes on the other side of the tracks to be our enemies. When you get that type of ultimatum, what you think this nigga that's been against these dudes across the track for 30 years gonna do? He gonna tell a little homies, he gonna tell the influential homies, the niggas that's impressionable, hey, cuz, go turn it up on them niggas because his livelihood is at stake. So fuck the embetterment of the community. This, that, another. Motherfuckers gonna listen to what these Caucasians and these people that have a position of authority that's writing these checks. Motherfuckers is pushing their agenda on us, even though it's counterproductive to us as a people. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of motherfuckers don't get introduced to this type of information because this is the shit that get niggas killed, and this is the type of shit that they sweep up under the carpet. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, this shit. Yeah, man. So, which ties in, man, because you know, I always say, in order to be, as far as you know, to be successful at anything you do, you know, I always say, man, you need to be a man. You know what I mean? Regardless of what profession or what type of lifestyle that you partake in, you know, you need to be a man first. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you this question real quick. What does it mean to you to be a man?
Shit. Being a man is standing on principles, integrity, morals, understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding for the greater good of the people. That's what being a man about is about for me. Being responsible for your responsibilities, you know, being accountable, holding yourself accountable, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and all that. But I gotta disagree with you with saying that in order to obtain success, you have to be a man. I disagree with that because some of the most successful people on the face of this planet, they're not men, they're cowards. It's easier to obtain success by being a coward than being a man, because when you're a man and you're standing on principles and you're standing on morals and integrity, motherfuckers look at you at a certain way because you're not impressionable. So we're not going to bring you into our organization because you don't reflect or you don't represent our nefarious plan. You feel what I'm saying? You don't represent what we represent, so we're going to shun you. And a lot of people of integrity and principles miss a lot of opportunities because you're not easily brainwashed or you're not an ass kisser. You understand what I'm saying? And even in the Bible, it says that everybody is a friend of the man who gives gifts versus the man who brings knowledge. People don't like knowledge because knowledge puts you in a position to where you have to look at yourself. And a lot of people don't want to accept the ugly truth about themselves. They want to be placated. They want to live in this coded world and whatnot. They don't want to deal with the actuality or reality. So I kind of disagree with you on that by just saying being a man is something that puts you in a position to where you can succeed and have success. I disagree with that, especially in this super fictitious ass world. You feel what I'm saying? If you're a real individual, motherfuckers want to shun you because you're real. But when you fake, everybody loves you. Everybody want to fuck with you. Everybody want to be in your presence. Motherfuckers invite you to shit and, hey man, we can do this and with you because you fake as a motherfucker, man. You play along to go along to play along type motherfucker. When you're a real individual out here, you got more obstacles coming against you. You know what I mean? It's more mountains and shit that you gotta hurdle over because you exist off principles. You don't do shady shit. You don't do shit that's immoral. You don't do shit that's out of pocket and wicked. You have a certain guidelines and you have a certain standard that you hold yourself to. Like, nah, nigga, I'm not telling on this nigga to be a confidential informant. Nah, I'm not doing this. Nah, this is my partner. I'm not robbing cuz. I'm not fucking this bitch. I'm not setting this nigga up. No, I'm not about to sell my soul in order to be in a position to where I can get a whole lot of money. Like, hell no, cuz I want for myself what I want for my brothers. So I never sell out my community and all that type of shit. Like,
I would have to counter with this though. People look at success in different ways. Me personally, I don't see success as having money or material things. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're right. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? People sit over there, you know what I mean? There's some cowards that got a whole bunch of money, you know what I mean? Shit, they could have fell into it though. But me personally, it all depends how you view success, and,
Right.
and kind of how I look at things, you know what I'm saying, as far as what I want to accomplish at life. I do need to be a man. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to lead my woman, be able to lead my seed. You know what I mean? Be able to sit over there and give them uncommon information for them to be successful and be able to live, you know what I'm saying, leave something for them so they can shine just in case, my demise might come early. You know what I mean? But, yeah,
Right.
I definitely get your point of view though, because some people do look at success as materialistic or money things though. But, other people may not look at it. They might see success as having, their family might be in a good space, or they ain't got to want for nothing. Money does play an important part of the role as far as having things in the world, but it ain't everything. What I
Right.
mean?
No, money is not everything.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you on that part. Like, but if, like you say, it's all about how you perceive and define success.
Mm-hmm.
Success can be getting your kids into college, man. I'm
Yeah.
successful, man. I did that shit. I accomplished that. Buying a house, putting a down payment on this car, starting a business. You know what I'm saying? Your own independent business. So on that note, you know what I mean? We agree. We agree on that one right there. You know what I'm saying? When you're basing it off that terminology and that viewpoint of success, yeah, most definitely accomplishing goals and whatnot. Because if you accomplish a goal, that's success. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I agree with you on that one.
Man, do you you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm enjoying this conversation. Man, I want to be respectful of your time though, man. Do you got anything that you might want to promote that you got going on, or the people's may got some anything you want to promote?
Man, check out my movie on the Hulu, The Year the Everlasting Storm. Check out my movie on Netflix, Imperial Dreams. Check out my book on Amazon. The first one is Lyrics of My Reality. You know what I mean? It's a poetry book. And check out my book. What is my other book that's on Amazon? Just check out Bobby A. Jones, man. I'm on Instagram, Perspication Philosophical, yay, on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Say your IG again. You kind of cut out again, so I want the people to get be able to follow you on the IG and Facebook. Say repeat it again.
My IG is Bobby A. Jones. TV, and my Facebook is Perspications Philosophical. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot for y'all to follow me. If you want to, but if you want to mac in with me, just mac in with me on my Instagram, Bobby A. Jones.
Okay. Do you got any parting words that you might want to say to the people?
Man, stay up, and a race is not won by the swift, but he endures to the end. You know what I mean? And suicide is not an option. Quote my nigga C Max, 5 Crip. You feel me? Stay up, be blessed. You know what I mean? Treat people how you want to be treated, and keep your best foot forward.
All right, you heard the man. Hey, can I get you to stay on the line for a brief second, real quick? I wanted to brief you real quick.
Most definitely.
Okay, yeah, man. I want to thank my guest, man, for this knowledgeable interview, man, and hopefully, man, we can get him on soon. And hey, man, y'all stay up, man. Y'all heard the words, man. Hopefully, y'all might have learned something from this, and maybe it can make it applicable to y'all life, man. Man, until we meet again, y'all. We out.